circle. For once, we actually see a bit of play over Yaz and towards Saverny, so we might actually see a bit of action favor some of these teams towards the northeast side.
Yeah, we'll see it ending around the Zaki area, but we do get that center of the map kind of opened up, so your usual general teams will be going to the same place. You'll see FaZe heading up onto that east coast area, potentially C9 looking towards Kameshki, a little bit further down around Stalba potentially. Method more than likely will stand by themselves and stick by the guns, to be honest, and head towards Pachinki, but Method have been playing quite aggressive. We always speak so much about Andy Pyro's aggression and his individual natural talent, and you know, technically possibly one of the, if not the best players in Europe right now, maybe even the world, but that stands testament to the rest of Method. They help him out, they allow him to do this. It's an absolute solid team and one that could potentially bag a dinner here and really make an upset in that leaderboard. But if we look towards Saverny, the interesting one is whether or not Noble will actually clash with Ghost Gaming.
Yeah, it looks like Noble may be eyeing up the shooting range and kind of using that as a peel-off position just because they don't want to fight for Saverny, which it does have room for two, but it will get sparse. It's a little bit light on the loot if you've got two teams in there in squads. Of course, Sigourney Weaver can't deal with that many people around. But looking at Yasnaya, TSM going to filter through that. It looks like Breaks a little on his own, just going to work his way through the smaller compounds. SST working their way up the east coast. FaZe as well migrating away from Milta. That's become a bit of a common trend here.
I kind of want to speak about that a little bit more. Obviously, we do have a bit of time before things start to kick off here, but I really feel like FaZe has been bullied at this event. Like, the team coming into this, you thought, yep, they're going to be the bad boys to watch out for, but honestly, LGD have
that's
pretty...
a gorgeous
That's
circle.
a lovely, lovely circle.
You love to see it, Rich.
You do. Not much water in there. And again, pretty much in line with where the plane went across. So a lot of teams are already going to be in there getting loot. So we'll see some really stacked teams. That's a TSM circle. They're dead center. They can loot all of Yaz on their own, get completely kitted out of the mines. But to touch back on FaZe, I think they've been bullied hard this event. You've been pushed out by LGD. You've been put into a different territory. All right, they usually play up that coastline, but Milta powers their home.
Yeah, and honestly, FaZe this time, they have a decent position. If there's going to be an excuse made, it shouldn't be about this game. You know, they've got the circle, they've got the drop. It could be lightly contested, but I don't think anyone's going to be fighting heavily for these compounds. It's all been divided. I actually like what SST have done, actually, so far, just going straight up to Kameshki. No one else is going to be up there. It's got decent loot, especially for two players. The kind of north and the south divide of the compound, excellent to get through. Some decent, like, military spawns up there as well, so worth a check out. Method as well, going to go on checked on as well. They get a good free looting position. There's not much to be really fought over early, but LGD on the move early on, heading their way from the west over towards the east, going to try and get here nice and quick.
We'll try and bring you guys the map up so you can kind of look a little bit more to what we're talking about. But when we look towards Method, they're going to come in from Pachinki. They've got a bit of an open route. They could sit on the edge of the circle and maybe wait for Rogue, Vitality, and the rest of the teams that are going to be coming from the lower end. As we look towards this Georgia Pole side, usual scenario. We've got a Vanguard and Optic up there in the north, and then down in the south, we have KSV. Same scenario again, KSV. They have bullied away Kinguin, who used to love to go on that south side, kind of around and play around the hospital. We've still got Tempo down at the bottom, around the west coast. You see the marshlands and so on and such. But TSM currently are the boys in the shining armor. They have the center of the circle, and that's going to be over Yasnaya. Again, lots of building complexes. It kind of all depends where TSM decides to hold foot and hold ground, because there'll be a lot of teams approaching Yasnaya and looking for a good building.
But this is the fun part, right, with Yasnaya, and when you're center circle, you can get complacent on, okay, are we over-looting now? Have we stopped considering when teams are going to move towards us? And also, where do they sit? You kind of want to, I guess, compile yourself in one specific area. We have seen them splitting up a lot, but outside of that, you know, if you're going to be moving into this area, especially for teams like KLG, LGD, they've all seen players drop around here, so they're going to be aware there's a strong chance there's going to be teams in this area. Method still pretty comfortable here. They will probably have to get through Kinguin, which could be the issue unless they take a more southern route, pass towards Shelter. That could be the next plan, but Andy on a bike, he's like the, I guess, lightning before the thunder. This guy can really be a trouble. He used to kind of be a bit more of a scout player, but you can see they're now building around him a different aspect once Raptor got kind of moved out of that lineup, so a nice little different approach, which has been paying off very well for them.
Yeah, when you're going to put someone in a, you know, an in-game leadership kind of role, you don't want them to be your scout, so he can't be the one that's going off. Fair enough, he'll be the shot caller and the one to tell places, but at the end of the day, he dies early, because that's the problem. Oh, a couple of initial shots here. Smack going for an early run again.
TSM are leaving. Well, some of them are.
Yeah, which is, I find a little bit weird. You thought they'd kind of hold this one down. Clearly want to get a bit of a foothold on various other places. The NPR is definitely, we were speaking about a scout, the one that does this for TSM, a very underrated player in Marius. He loves to just wander around.
Phase of some people very close by, and Wesker going to be very cautious here. They are really, really close, and FaZe are back up on the way. Wesker's in trouble, certainly like Resident Evil at this point, but looking at the DP coming out here, the old dinner plate. Oh, that's a shot and a half. Gemty just spreads the marbles all over the floor, and Wesker is just bleeding out. There's no one to save him. They're pretty far away, so SST are like, oh, well, we're just going to veer away from this.
I actually think, yeah, no, they're going to drive completely away from him. We were speaking earlier on in the back about the disco plate launcher, the DP. It really is a bit of a beastie weapon. He's still 7.62. He's going to punch you for a ton of damage no matter what. A little bit slower, but ultimately, in squads, it's a bit of a tank buster. It
absolutely is, and the other purpose that I actually quite enjoy about the gun, and I don't like 7.6, I'll say that every day, get the AK away from me, it's disgraceful, but the thing you can say about this gun is, with the fire rate being what it is, quite slow. Ooh, I'll get back to this. This is a dirty little angle from Smack. Ooh, he actually lost out on the peak as well. Great work from the other side, and he is being very, I guess, brazen about the movement there, run right across the door, but at the moment, this is really fought for. Smack, I think, is one of the original players who split out on his own. So again, TSM aren't there to save him, so he's going to try and hold this. They want this, though. They're hungry for it, and Smack.
It's going to be interesting.
But did they hear this? That's the question. They definitely saw it now. Smack's in trouble. Players left, right, and center, and he can't make it away. He gets caught in the heels, and now he's very much alone. This could be TSM without a player very early, and that's exactly what it is.
So trade for trade. SST, they lose one, and TSM, they lose one as well. So a little bit of an answer back. We'll look at the kill feed there. I'm seeing LGD taking some damage. I saw Optic as well in the mists. Brick having a few pop shots across map at Method, but you got to be careful and make sure you land these, because you shoot at Method, they'll happily shoot back. Hetra taking out one member of Ghost Gaming. That's a headshot onto Divine Legit. We'll see LGD, and the UR is getting tanked up. She's smoking, baby. Can Brick finish this one? He'll leave that one to drive by, because going to see later. Happily cleanup crew comes in. 7.62 again, does so much damage to vehicles. Easy kill for them. Another 10 points in the bag for Method.
You can see the Method to the madness there, switching over to the AK rather than sitting there on the 16. It makes perfect sense. It can tear through in about a clip, and that was already weakened up by Break. And as I was saying about the DP there, with the fire rate being a little slower, you can actually really control that spray. It becomes a little bit of an art form. It certainly kicks, but you can really play around with that. So I'm glad to see it still being utilized. You can see teams very carefully positioning here. The north side of the circle is actually pretty sparse of players. I like what Optic are doing. They're heading up there. They're unaware of this, obviously. They might just have a little bit of an inkling. Okay, maybe no one's in that sort of position. And Kingwin. I think every single player of this game has had a game finish in this area. It's like that filthy little defilade over into the field just off to the east, and you're sat in the garage being shot underneath the walls going, why have they done this to me? But let's look at the loot as well. It's not perfect. These guys are struggling in some aspects, but it's you know, the highs and lows. You've got a level 3 vest with a level 1 helmet. It's like, well, they're okay for now, but I don't know how many people are coming through this way. Once that circle swings, we can look at that. But now Rogue and Vitality could have a little scuffle here, but again, it's all about that central area near Yaz.
Everyone's banking on it going middle, but, you know, Optic, they're taking a chance on going up north. If he does go towards Stalber and gives them the swing, they're going to have the height advantage on every single person. No one down in the south. It all depends where Vitality and Rogue decide to kind of position themselves. SST still cracking off against Method. Method have, I think, about 3 teams now to shoot him. We've got SST, Method, and even FaZe all in this one small area. Just over to the left, you can see one compound is completely uncontested. Method are split between 2. Personally, I prefer them to go in one together, because that triple stack is completely uncontested. I'd prefer it to be in a little 1 stack, which is where they are at the moment. But look at Rogue and Vitality. It all depends what Vitality decide to do. Do they want to kind of stand their ground and wait for Rogue? Because if they're playing at this level, they
I know you know where people drop,
they should be, because they sometimes have an idea. Anything can happen in every game, but generally speaking, they should have an idea, especially with them landing down in Milta. They'll have seen the flyers.
We might have a little bit of a glimpse across. And again, people not really wanting to take too many open fights right now. You can see them being quite careful in the compounds they're going to be sitting in, just purely because it's still early game. And because we're edging towards the end of this tournament, of course, losing out on 1 player, getting 1 kill, it can be so vital. So teams are very hesitant. to take the kind of riskier moves. I like the way Rogue and Vitality are actually playing, taking up this sort of ground towards the south. The more you can get towards that north, as much as it has become viable with the mansion now getting kind of, I guess, the forest area around it, you can actually play a bit more to it. It's still going to be so deadly. There's so many teams already set up in good positions, and because of the plains route was very viable to this, you should be aware of that as well as a team, keeping the knowledge of, we'll probably be pushing into people already here. We have to be careful. These won't be free compounds anymore.
Taking a look at Ghost Gaming, just sitting up on the hills, chilling away. Level 2, level 1. Everyone rocking. It looks like quite a few of them. In fact, they lost someone earlier on down in the kill feed. We didn't actually see the kill, but we definitely comped for it. M16 here with Austin. That weapon went on burst 5. You can control the spray. That 5.56 just hits like an absolute tank. Looks like he's got a compensator on the end of it as well, tying up that spread. KSV now on the rotation. They're going to be passing one member of Tempo Storm. That's Valiant. He'll be just calling that one out and kind of being the information that Tempo Storm need to realize where KSV are, call it out. Okay, this is where we can move to, boys. Let's have a look see who's left to go. Well, we've actually got Tempo Storm. They're going to be the latest in. They're still outside in the blue. They're still where they landed, which is West Coast. So they have to be banking that no one else is going to be there, because when they turn up, more importantly, they're going to be weak because it's going to do so much damage from this circle as they rotate inwards. But they could get lucky because Roshawk School Area Apartments, there's absolutely nobody on that side of the map.
I was going to say, this is very reminiscent of some of the games we saw yesterday where everyone goes central. A lot of teams trying to get the prime ground very early, especially in these later games. Jazza, they're going to find one of the Vitality members. We said that Rogue and Vitality could be finding this. Now, a lot of these teams will just back away, peel off, but with a Kar 98, you're constantly chipping away at them having helmets, having armor. These sort of things are vital at this point, especially for a team like Vitality, who are certainly in with a chance of pushing themselves up from that top 4 into the top 2.
You can't see it, but we're actually noticing that C9 are also dinking it. There you go. C9 are actually shooting at Vitality as well. So 2 teams on the back of the French right now. Let's take a look at this circle update. It's actually gone towards the north, so it will indeed be Optic. Kings of the North just banking up to Stalber. That's a scary circle.
It is, but if you're TSM, you're kind of happy on this one. You can be the gatekeepers, you can be the guys trying to get the shots on the cross, and you don't have to move just yet. Your next worry be if we need to go further north, getting out of Yaz is a complete and utter get to do. But for now, you can see the shots coming through, and Vitality need to be very careful. Monkey, up to his old tricks, has to run off of this one and get a heal on, and needs to be very aware that they are certainly not alone in this position.
Got the level 3 on though, and the level 2 on the chest, so at least can take a few bullets. He'll bandage away, make sure he saves his
Look at this early
bigger,
rotate. Love it.
Bigger meds. Here comes the rotation, though. We'll see what exactly happens with TSM will hold as we move across to Rogue for now. Again, having a bit of an early fight with Vitality earlier on.
The big question here is a Vanguard. They're in a fight with KSV. Kingwin are coming around on the outside flank. That could be an actual bit of a problem here, considering a Vanguard, they want to be doing well in this one. They hate the southern circles. Well, this is as far north as we're looking so far. So, I mean, for them, this should be good. And look at that loot. Just 8 times coming in real handy. Even on the Scar, you can tap away. The travel time on 5.5 or 5.6, however you like to call it, is pretty good. The damage over distance does drop off, but not by a massive amount. You can still ward away people. But for a Vanguard, they need to stay consistent and still getting kills. Keep that lead. But I like the way FaZe are playing here as well. The Northeast play up there. It's unlikely people went to Kameshki. They had been playing on the East Coast. They had good information. The little, I guess, trick, the prank of all of this would be if they go up to Optic, but look at that northern split around. That new area was put towards the south of Stalber. That's deadly. There's so many teams here. Method as well. Absolute madmen at the moment that can just tear anyone apart. I would not want to go near them.
Method all on foot as well, opting to leave the vehicles, and you'll see that with some of these teams at this later stage. It does make a lot of noise. But then again, you are losing utility, you're losing speed, you're losing movement, but you can hang around the rocks area. This is exactly what they're going to do. They're actually going to go up against Ghost Gaming. Profi's coming in. He gets spotted out. He is absolutely battered by Leighton. Comes in with the AKM. There's the knock. McCoy and Austin now looking across. Easy kill. 10 points in the bag there. Profi, he will fall. Now 2 members left. Ghost Gaming not having a really rough time here, to be honest with you. They get the chicken dinner. They were the first team to removed from the previous games, and now all of a sudden
goes to backing.
There's only 2 of them left. They are backing down, and with 2 players they need to, because you know it's squeaky bum time for these boys. They got themselves from down at the bottom of the table pretty much into the top half, but things just aren't going their way every time they decide to go somewhere else. And again, being on foot like that is one of the problems that you have. You don't have these vehicles to kind of traverse the map and go exactly where you want. And when someone like Method just singles you out, there's no way getting out of their sight.
And they've bullied people away. They've made a circle of their own, their method. But I want to talk about the teams on the kind of outer skirts that I really like the positioning of. Vitality, for me, are in a really nice spot here. It's not a compound people often go to, but you can have such great vision. You have good rotation to the north and the northwest from it. So for me, I like this spot. I don't mind Avangas, but the problem is they're still dependent on vehicles. This is a very hard compound to get out of. There's minimal cover around it. There's not many defilades, but you're hoping that KSV get pressure from the likes of Noble and others. So again, I'm liking this position from Vitality. They could get flanked on from FaZe if they have to move south, but for now, it's Rogue you're going to keep your eyes on, and Tempo Storm coming in quite late. But you can see the Valiant there has already kind of trailblazed his way forward, said, all right, you can come to me, it's safe, but I don't know anywhere beyond that. So again, good work from him to be the early scout.
I like what FaZe did and just took that northern route, went up the side of the coastline from Kameshki and then came in. They have so much defilade they can play
Vitality.
off of. Again, chasing one another's tails. This could be the story of this game so far. They've already had a bit of a back and forth for one another. Just as a quick one while this is going down, the one thing that Avanga have, they're going to have to run a gauntlet. If this circle shifts even further up north, they're banking on this circle going their way because they have to get through KSV, they have to get through Noble. If they decide to go all the way up north on the around the coastline of the circle, they've got to get through Tempo Storm. They could hit Kinguin. They're not in the best of position. This circle update will tell the story of the CIS team and their route to trying to win this event. Let's bring this one up. We'll see how the circle does update. Not too far from the but. Again, to get in there, they've got to get through KSV.
I'm really curious about the, who is it? LGD and SST combination? They're basically on the same compound almost there. So I'm really wondering what's happening in that situation, like how they're positioned. And you can see early rotations again. TSM finally having to move. A bit of a problem for them because you know that it's quite open here. Until you get to that east side of the small lake, you can finally get some cover going and you get into that like no lean town. But KLG aren't far behind either. So there's so many threats on board. FaZe and Rogue and Vitality all look like they want to head north on the rotation, but that will force you in towards Kinguin, Optic, and Tempo Storm. This could be a very big crunch of a circle. Avanga are on the move, as are TSM. They're all going to meet towards the south side here. Noble are about to see everything.
TSM, they'll crash into this building. NPR decides he needs to get out and bail because he's in a lot of trouble. You're hearing more bullets kicking off.
Noble are taking this.
Oh, God, NPR, he goes down. He is dead. Brick's still alive, though, just sitting on the back. Edak gets the call, and he's looking for more. Where's he hiding, though? Brick, the bad man himself, and he gets caught off guard. Boom, we'll seal the deal on that one. Only one member of TSM. They get caught off guard on the rotation. And that's going to be Vis once again. Vis, last man standing, he's dead. So TSM, they're the first team to be eliminated in game number 7. It's Ghost Gaming, McCoy, the man, the machine himself, who finishes off TSM's life in this one. Things not looking great for Team Solo Mid, Pansy.
No, but I've got to give credit where it's due. Noble didn't have any fear in what they did. They took the fights. They saw that a couple of the TSM players were a little bit isolated, a little bit kind of behind each other, and they got out the buildings. They took the fights. They jumped down. They created those small crossfires that mean the TSM were isolated from each other. Excellent work from Noble, the kind of slow burner of this tournament. Avanga, in the meantime, saw all that go down and go, you know what? We'll just slip our way in. We're fine. We're good down here. Now let's look towards the north, because that's the fun part coming in pretty soon. Teams now littering the hills up by Stalber in the first couple. Start the fight going. Optic are under pressure, and that's from Kinguin.
High Park a bit onto his teammates, exactly where Kinguin are. He's going to go for a bail and join the rest of his crew, though. We can see them now. They're going to set up on this hillside. I love where they are. You have so much defilade to play off. You got the rocks, you got the hard cover, you can do some hard peaks, you can look all the way down south. Yes, the silenced M16, especially if you've got it on single fire with a 4x,
It's
it's
filth,
deadly.
isn't it?
It's just a mini sniper rifle.
All right, well, we're going to see Rogue and FaZe coming in at the same time. FaZe, little to their knowledge, will probably have trouble from Kinguin. Vitality could take on Rogue. We'll see how far through Stalber they go here. Again, that's the fight towards the north. They could all ignore each other. Method still holding good ground, and we're seeing Optic here trying to settle in, bring the cars up, make a little bit of a base for themselves, create the cover that they like to work under. Well, pretty well looted too, I've got to say, is Cloud9 as well. Haven't spoken to them for a little bit, but they're working their way down south and getting into a good position too. And here comes the fight towards the north. We were saying it's going to be a possibility. None of these teams want to die, so they're all going to peel off unless they get forced into another squad.
Rogel fires some initial shots. FaZe will back down for a second. They need to get the bearings together and realize where these bullets are going to be coming from. The what of cop for that one player because it's YNCK just chilling himself. The rest of Rogue, they'll opt towards Stalber. I think as well with Optic, we actually saw 2 members with silenced 16s and 4x, so That's an absolute nightmare scenario if you want to be kind of working towards the bottom of Optic. They're just going to rain hell from above. But Luke's going to be moving forward, though. He needs to be very careful because if they single him out, that'll be an easy kill for them. Optic, they do spot Ghost Gaming. It all depends where Ghost Gaming are. They actually have the cover to survive this phase. They'll carry on the rotation. They've got to be aware of this Kingwing push, though. If Kingwing caught them off guard, it could be a very dangerous scenario, but they do have a lot of cover.
Oh, central circles are just being rather nice. Now, I've got to say, the interesting factors here are Noble are in a good spot still, Method in a good spot, but Avanga have to now move through Noble, or they head up slightly further towards the west. That's their options. It's up for grabs, but Kingwin, Tempo Storm, Rogue, and FaZe all starting to get into the fight here. We're seeing a couple of interesting guns as well, especially for FaZe, who look pretty well looted, apart from that level 1 vest. But again, at this point, you're just going to have to work with what you got. 55 alive in a very small circle to boot, and there it is. Jempty finds one of the Tempo Storm boys, and a kill to follow, and FaZe suddenly set the board on fire. Tempo Storm just got shredded, and that is not what you want to be seeing if you're a fan of theirs, because this game matters. But Jempty, and where is this coming from?
Is that Kingwin who finally actually decided to join the
Optic.
party? Look at that. Look at what weapon as well. 16 single shot comes in with a headshot. They find the target. Now Kingwin think, okay, it's time to move here. They're getting battered, so we'll join this party. Optic, though, getting aggressive here.
And Optic holding the line with Tempo Storm.
Where Vitality are.
And will Vitality go to the fight? We're going to have to find out as Fuzzface is trying to lay down fire, but little does he know this player's everywhere. Kingwing are splitting. This is a beautiful approach. Larson trying to go to the farthest right. Nades now rain in as well, and Fuzzface knows there could be real trouble afoot here. KSV finding fights. Vitality coming in towards Optic, and there's Andy not wanting to miss out on the action. It's all going down now. These are the fights we want to be seeing. 52 still alive, but for how long?
Optic have just actually had the kill still, and that's going to be Andy who steps up to the plate, gets the knock, and steals one out the hand of Vitality. Vad will answer back. Budsface will fall, and he will die. Kingwin stick 10 points in the bag. They're looking for more. You can see FaZe. They're on the back burner. They're getting shot from 3 different angles. They have to be very, very careful now. Kingwin getting some prime position, though, forcing one team out. It's a battle for this Rocks area. As all of a sudden, Mexi, he will die. It looks like one member potentially now of FaZe. We'll get that one updated. 2, in fact, excuse me, looking further afield, though. Jempty again with the disco plate comes in on Tempo Storm. Zampa gets his face ripped off. He's dead. 15 teams, 49 players alive. Jempty knocked out once again. KSV, they join the fight. And that's going to be the M4 doing so much work. Looking at Vad's POV right now, the M16. Does he have it on single? Does he have it on burst? Either way, it'll do so much damage. Gaxi instantly finds someone, and that's going to be the Scar. Easy kill from Hexit there. He's dead. So is Jempty as well. That potentially could be the end of FaZe. It is indeed. 14 teams remaining, but look at that kill feed, Lauren.
Optic are looking pretty terrifying right now. They're a team in second position. Vanguard's rotations have been perfect, but coming back to that 17 on the edge of glory at this point, looking for more towards Pig, but his teammates are under pressure, and that's from KSV. No easy shots to be found here, and Optic feeling a little pinned at this point. KSV have the rotation ability, but Rogue coming in big again. That's Vitality in real trouble. I'm pretty sure they might be all dead at this point.
Yeah, we're looking now. Definitely FaZe are gone, Ghost gone, TSM's gone, Vitality's gone. 4 incredible teams completely wiped from the face of the planet here in game number 7. Let's take a look at Avanga. They've decided to, okay, boys, it's time to step up here.
Perfect rotation.
Kills in the bag, though. That's one thing we have to say, which is, you know, it's not the biggest thing, but they do play off a lot of kills. They're now looking for the placement game to try and solidify their win here. Another team's gone as well. That's going to be Tempo Storm. We're down to our top 11, 17. Still hard peeking here with the 16 in the silencer.
The good news, if you're a Vanguard fans, is the fact that Optic only have 3 kills between them thus far. So again, that's the second place team, not really pushing up too hard on them. Again, you could see that a Vanguard could come in late game and find many. They're kind of slowly creeping up towards KSV, who actually have a spot on them, and Method have it all. They finally got a circle here. So this could be them having the game. Now they are in 3rd spot, a good couple of kills between them as well. So they're looking pretty spicy. LGD in trouble on the outskirts as well as SST gonna find 1.
It's Sid just banking off for a second. We'll keep an eye on that kill feed because he'll be doing the same. Remember that teams can read what's going on in that top corner, so all of a sudden they'll be thinking every time they see people die, they're calculating stuff up, they're seeing what position they need to be in. C9 are making a move. I'm not sure whether they actually have the information here. Chaos just on the opposing side at Moody's having a look, so I would suggest he does. I didn't quite catch what kind of gear they were rocking. They're going up and they're all pushing together. This, to me, spells trouble for KLG. Moody strikes first. Can he find a second? Yes, he can. The double comes through. The rest of the teammate will be rotating round the rocks. Frex, take a look up, my friend. You're going to be in trouble. One does answer back. That's going to be Frolicker who steps up to the plate. 2 members do transfer and trade off. All 4 members, though, C9, 1 player left from Chaos. They pretty much wiped that squad.
Okay, the top 2 teams are about to close in on each other as well. Avanga up against Optic. Optic are sitting in the circle right now, but that could be a huge problem. Keep your eyes on that kill feed if they actually fight, and it looks like they're right on target for it. Avanga gonna try and be quick, but look at Optic's position. It's perfect, but it doesn't matter. Still a shot comes through, and Avanga close in. They just about make it to the death lane. They want this bad, and they're getting the kills to back it up. But Hawaka is down, and Optic look like they are in real trouble here.
No. Oh no, how is this happening? How can you get battered so badly? Umino steps in, they clean up another one. Bauer's gone. 1 player up top, 17 backs off for a second. He's come down the stairs. Look to your left, Sunshine. That's where he's chilling right now. He's running away from this one. He's trying to get out. There's no way to go. He answers back though. Takes one down before it's too late. Hetra potentially here, the last man standing for Optic Gaming. He's going to pre-grenade. Will Momino push this one? You can hear the bullets are coming through. The call will come out that they're going to get this one. They'll be able to get the revive here. So all 4 members of Avanga left alive. And that's what they needed, Lauren, to take out the number 2 squad like that. Give themselves some position. What an absolute ballsy play to push a tower like that takes guts.
And I've got to say, Keen in the meantime had been holding their back so no one could slow flank around them. That's extremely diligent play. But now look at Kingwin. KSV are really causing them trouble here. Gaxi in a great position. They're going to try. Oh, sublime shot. That is perfection. And he's going to spot another. Can he land it? Taps away, waiting. But now the blue is his biggest problem. He's got to get running.
They're going to make the move because the blue's on the back. They'll force them together. Sexy Pig's going to just stem up because he needs to move himself. Kinga, they'll finish off on Sims there. Edak comes in onto Keen, though. So that's 1 member of Avanga that split off from the rest of the pack. He's going to fall, so Avanga are down to 3. Still the top 10 scenario comes through. Kingwin, they're going to finish off Sexy Pig, so that's them gone.
But remember, there's still a member of Optic above those guys. He's still alive up there, so he can just be a nuisance, and they've got the slow side of the circle. Let's look at this circle and see what we have. Kingwin to the north, safe. Rogue to the northeast, not so safe, but for now getting kills. And there goes the final member of Optic. That is them removed from this. Avanga not going down without a fight. At this point, they did lose 1, but that doesn't matter. They're still in a really good spot here. But look at Noble, quick on the rotation through the slow side, going right in towards Avanga. Method taking every fight they can. Cloud9 closing in on them. And let's see how this one goes down. It's Rogue still trying to hold their own on the eastern side of the map.
M4 with a grip, level 3 helmet, level 2 chest. Easy days for them. This comes down to this fight, though. Can Noble potentially end Avanga's reign?
Can they walk up this? I'm trying to think if you can,
Needs to
like...
just go a little bit further back. I think if he does that anyway, he'll be stuck in a position because he'll kind of be bottlenecked.
Vanguard knows where they are now. This could be problematic, but that AK can tear people apart. But the Vanguard have the hard cover, and there's the shot they needed. 1 man down, but it's traded out effectively. Flashbang goes in. Godspeed's using everything he can. And now the shots come in from other sides. The nade comes in. He needs to push up. He knows he's on a time limit here. Excellent moves, but the nade, he's got away on it now. It's time to strike. Brilliant play. And it's the Vanguard looking in trouble here. Noble tearing them to pieces, but they're also now stretched and thin. And you can see them trying to find places of respite, but there's not much to be found. And this is so brave. There's a player just above him, Mino. He's letting shots fly. Godspeed hears this as Adaculus goes down, and he's let him to rot. Godspeed needs to move. He knows there's a man above him. The heal comes in. This is terrifying. Method still in a good spot, but Noble just about holding on with a couple left as Kingwin try and remain dominant in this northern spot.
How in God's name did Godspeed? I mean that takes... You've got to be wary because he knew he was there. The information came through because the rest of his teammates were dropping from that top spot. Ewing versus Murasu. He should be able to get this kill just hiding behind the vehicle. Should push aggressive. His teammates there. Got his cover across his shoulder. Fantastic work. 1-2 switch. It's actually Godspeed to take out Mominu. So that for me could potentially be a Vanguard gone, eliminated from this 7th game. Puts them in 7th position. We'll get the update to see if that is all of a Vanguard gone. But we said Noble, they could be the destroyers, which gives them the win here. That's incredible stuff from Noble. It is. They've gone.
It's all about method now. If you want to be looking at this, they've got kills and they've got positioning. They make it to top 3. They've suddenly become a real contender as Optic went out quite early too. But for now, we see the trades between Kingwin and Rogue towards the north. They're battling for superiority up there. The dinks are coming through. The helmets are looking a little withered and wary at this point. There's not much to be done. You're working whatever you have. You can see Rogue clinging onto this cover for dear life. Cloud9 starting to work their way from the south, take over the small bit of hard cover that's left remaining.
And they're their only team that actually have all 4 players remaining.
Correct.
They need to get a grip on where these other teams are. They can all look together. They can overextend and try and get some sort of information from someone who decides to want to be that kind of scout scenario. Froliker's getting a little bit too overzealous. He may come across Method just chilling over here to the left-hand side. They're looking as well. LGD just camping on the edge, doing the snake, but they've got a long way to go. Grenade comes through, though. Vard's pushed back. Solid's taking a look up.
Simba could be a real nuisance to this. I don't know what his positioning really is like here. He's just prone down. I'm wondering. Solid FPS is so thorough at this point, though. He's really looking for anyone, but he's looking up now towards the northern side, and he catches him down. Simba falls away.
Excuse the
live the king.
You know, Solid does have a solid shot, and every single time we watch his POV, he'll just catch someone, lock on, snaps to the face, eliminates them. Another kill there for C9. 5 teams remaining.
This. So smart movement from Cloud9. Make noise up towards the east, and they swing back round towards the west, but in their way is Method.
Moody. Who will get the first spot here? You can listen for the footsteps. And he's leaning. Doesn't quite catch him yet. Moody must have some information. He's fully stimmed. Look at them as a full unit of 4. They should easily win this, but Andy's going to be the one on the top. There's 1. There's 2. Turtle takes 2. He turns 2 faces. Can he clutch it out here? Solid answers back, though. He's looking for more. And that, unfortunately, will be Method gone. There's a lot of people that are walking wounded. It was a great attempt to knock 2 like that in a 1 versus 2 scenario, but C9, they live to fight another day. I think that's all 4 players remaining as well. C9, again, just grouping up like that and walking together as kind of a wall, 2-stepping up top. They take care of Andy, 2-stepping down below. Then all of a sudden, the guys from the top of the rocks, they look down, they finish them off. Method, they drop down in 5th place. C9, they look like tanks in this game number 7.
Look at the amount of kills they're rocking between each other as well. It's quite impressive what they've been able to claim. So that could be a factor down the line, but for now, the big 2 teams remaining are Rogue and Cloud9. The remainders outside of that are Kinguin with Vard and just Godspeed for Noble, and he is clinging to that slow side of the circle as best he can. Rogue gonna rain down fire from above, and that could be a shot and a half, but he can't land the peach that you're just praying to come through for.
I mean, they do have the height advantage. I think they potentially have an AUG, if I'm not mistaken. One of these does. I can definitely hear it in play, so we'll look and see who's actually got control of that one. C9 make the push. They do have the trees for some cover, but Rogue definitely have the height advantage, and they definitely do. These rocks are so damn good, but they're letting C9 move, which is... I personally wouldn't have let C9 get this far. Froliker just steps up to the plate. He takes out Ewan.
You don't want to be peeking these ledges too much because people can take your head off. Even if you got level 2, level 3, that's the only shot they're going to hit is onto your head. So you could be a hyper-aware, the fake peek into the real one. Perfection from Rogue and the kill to follow. Dangerous for sure, but that is exactly what you need. And the circle, look where it's gone. Cloud9 get given the circle to play with, but not with... There's hardly any cover here. You still got Godspeed, you've still got Vard, who can be kind of nuisances, threats, snakes in the grass that can really throw this on its head.
Really is about these solo players right now that are just going to cause so much problem. I mean, you look at C9. Personally, if I were Rogue on the top there, I wouldn't let them get that close. I mean, it was a good trade-off. You know, C9 lost 1, Rogue lost 1. So for C9, it was a good trade to lose 1 player, but to be able to get this position that they've got. But as you mentioned, Lauren, these solo players could cause a problem. If C9 engage in a fight, it only takes Godspeed just to poke his head around, joining the fight. You know, knock 1 from C9. He definitely... If he steps up a little bit further, he's going to have eyes on at least 2 of them.
But Rogue can also kill him super easy, as can Vard. So he's playing the game of depending on others, and here it comes. You can't stay in that blue for long, and you know it.
Oh, he's gone.
As soon as you move, you're going to die. That Org is deadly, even in anyone's hands at this point. Fuffin's looking for more as well. That's the remaining player from Kinguin. We're down to 3, and the shots come through. Cloud9 just hold the ground. You see Rogue trying to do everything they can until they have to move, which is right about now. This hurts like hell, and Cloud9 are going to make it worse. And Rogue are doing what they can, but there's limited options. Froliker just loving every second of this.
C9 are happy to let teams just batter each other. Meanwhile, they'll step out. Ewan, however, does take one onto C9. That's going to be Froliker who gets the knock. The M4 does its job, and now we're in to the last 2 teams.
Oh, it's still
that was
going.
A belting kill. So they're going to get the knock on there. It's a 1 versus 2. The match does end. It looks like it's going to be solid.